Israel and the Palestinian territories are going up in flames after years of relative peace during the Trump administration. But do not worry, because President Biden has things under control. He has sent his spokesman out to kindly and politely tell people to please de-escalate.
Since last week, he has directed his team to engage intensively with senior Israeli and Palestinian officials, as well as leaders throughout the Middle East. His team is communicating a clear and consistent message in support of de-escalation, and that is our primary focus.
That's good. That's what does it. That's what brings peace to the Middle East, is a clear and consistent message from the team of the president to de-escalate, even though the president's own messaging on his support for Israel's enemies has been a little bit inconsistent, which has probably led us to this very, very moment. What is going on in Israel? I don't know. How much time do we have? We could be here for a very long time. A lot of news outlets are going really, really, really in-depth on exactly what started the conflict, and the left-wing outlets are saying the Israelis started this, and the right-wing outlets are saying it was the Palestinian Arabs, and it was because of this, and it was because of that, and you could spend a whole lot of time going back through the millennia to find the origin of this particular conflict. For our purposes, what is relevant today is the timing. Why is this breaking out right now? Why were things relatively cool under the Trump administration, but now they've gotten a lot hotter under the Biden administration? It's because of two competing approaches to the Middle East. When John Kerry was Secretary of State, before he was gallivanting all over the world trying to stop the sun monster, John Kerry said that there is no way to bring peace to the Middle East without first solving the Palestinian problem. What is the Palestinian problem? Well, you got this country, Israel, which was created in 1948, and you've got Arabs that are in the region, and then you've got national borders being set all around, and then you've got this group of people that the other countries don't want and that are holding out hope that they can get rid of Israel entirely, and this has created violence, and the violence has ebbed and flowed over the years. Why? Again, there is no reason to go any more in depth on that. That way lies madness. The thing that matters for us right now is why were things relatively peaceful under Trump, and why are they getting more violent under Biden? Because Donald Trump sent a clear message. He said the United States is not going to tolerate attacks on the existence of Israel. We're not going to give money to people who hate us in the region, and we're not going to side with Iran. Why is this? Well, very famously, I remember seeing them when I was 11 years old. The images on September 11th of Palestinian Arabs dancing in the streets. If you want the support of the United States, it's not a good idea to dance in the streets in celebration when the World Trade Center is attacked. So but even beyond the Palestinian Arabs, there are lots of places in this region that don't like us very much, notably Iran. The Democrats' strategy on the Middle East was suck up to Iran and suck up to the Palestinian Arabs. And if you focus on the Palestinian issue, that will solve the Middle East. The right took a completely different approach. Donald Trump said, John Kerry, you're wrong. You don't need to solve this Palestinian issue. You're not going to solve this Palestinian issue. So we're going to go directly to the actual nation states in the Middle East. Because don't forget, Palestine is not a country. It's that country east of Wakanda and left of Narnia, right? There is no nation state there called Palestine. So go to the other places and you'll get peace deals. This is what happened. And Iran is a big issue here. The Obama administration, Biden want to send pallets of cash to Iran. The Trump administration kills Iran's top general, right? Different friends, different allies, different approach to the Middle East. Which one worked out better? We have the data. We've got the evidence. Things were much more stable, much more peaceful under Trump. But that is not stopping Democrats from going back to the same old failed strategy. Bernie Sanders tweets out, the United States must call for an immediate ceasefire and an end to provocative and illegal settlement activity. And we must also recommit to working with Israelis and Palestinians to finally end this conflict. I think most people are going to, first of all, they're going to read this tweet and see that Bernie Sanders is blaming Israel here, right? Okay. But they're going to read this tweet and they're going to say, what do I care? What do I care as an American about Israel and Palestine and the Middle East? Why do we have to be there at all? What is the point of this? Why is our foreign policy dominated by this one region of the world? And they have a good point. The American foreign policy should be pretty simple. Do what is in the interest of the United States. Right? Seems simple enough. Now, this gets complicated because we are involved in lots of world affairs, and we have alliances, and we are dependent on certain places, and it matters to us if one power gets too big and we want to suppress other powers. So I'm not saying it's as simple as put your head in the sand and hope that everything is okay in the Middle East. But if our foreign policy is to do what is in the interest of the United States, then it would seem very much to be in our interest to keep things relatively stable over there without having to send troops, without having to really get involved in any wars. When wars break out, people have to start taking sides, people have to start getting involved. And the simple fact is that the policy of legitimizing the Palestinian nation state led to more violence, dragged America into this issue much, much further. And the policy of basically ignoring the Palestinian claims for a nation state and just going directly to our other friends and allies in the Middle East, going to other Arab states in the region and saying, hey, make peace, don't be a jerk, keep things calm, we're going to be back over here on the other side of the Atlantic. That seemed to work out pretty well. So perhaps we should do more of that. But of course, Joe Biden, the liberal establishment, the broad sort of liberal imperialist foreign policy types, they don't want that. Stop. Collaborate and listen. Collaborate with me by ringing that bell, like and subscribe. Otherwise, you're just not going to get notifications for these videos. Frankly, even if you do, you might not get notifications because our overlords here at YouTube are not always so happy with me. But the best way to have a chance of knowing when our new content comes out is to ring that bell. Do it today. See you next time.